So the question that I get asked a lot, and the one that I hear the most frequent is, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And my answer to that is going to be very literal. There is no black and white. If you have to ask the question, then no, you're not ready to become an entrepreneur. But while I got you here, let's go ahead and update the narrative. Because the narrative out there is that ownership is the way out. Now, anybody can be an entrepreneur, but everybody can't be an entrepreneur, if that makes sense. And this is coming from someone who's currently running 3 businesses. When I hear that question, the first thing that comes to mind is this person hasn't done all the research on what it takes to actually run a business. And in the long run, they're gonna end up wasting a lot of time and a lot of money. And the second thing that comes to mind when I hear that question is you already have doubts and you already have hesitations. And if you already have those are not good for leadership positions, especially if you want to have your own company. If you're hesitating already, then it's best that you just stay where you're at until you're absolutely sure, because this is not the game for the faint of heart. So that's just the literal response. So to sum it all up, if you have to ask the question, then no, you're not ready to become an entrepreneur. Just stay where you're at, and once you no longer have to ask that question to yourself or anyone else, then you're ready to jump into that the entrepreneurship field. Now, the figurative answer to, are you ready to be an entrepreneur? Well, my first question to you is going to be, before I even answer that, do you enjoy restful, peaceful sleep? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to get that, at least not for a very, very long time. Because as an entrepreneur, you know that you could go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow and you could have lost all your money, you could lose your entire business, anything could happen at any moment. So I don't think you'll find any entrepreneur that just sleeps peacefully through the night, especially not a new one. So that's question 1. Now, question 2, are you ready to lose money? And I know you are, because you're thinking about being an entrepreneur. With entrepreneurship, especially in the very beginning, you're going to lose a ton of money, and a lot of people get discouraged from that because they haven't properly done their research and they think they're just going to hit the ground running and they're just going to make all kinds of money and everything's going to be all good. That's not necessarily the case, especially if you have employees. You're going to find that even some of your $10 an hour employees are going to make more for your company than you are, at least for the first year. So keep that in mind. Now, question number 3. Do you like anxiety and stress? Because if you don't, entrepreneurship is not for you, because you're going to experience a lot of that. There's going to be days where you wake up and look at your bank account and it's not looking the same way it did 2 days ago. It's looking a lot less. That's going to be a huge blow to some of your egos and a lot of your anxiety and your stress levels. So if you're not ready for that type of stress and that type of anxiety, entrepreneurship is not your thing. Question number 4. Are you a problem solver? Because as an entrepreneur, every single day is going to be Murphy's Law. And if you're unfamiliar with Murphy's Law, it states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So you need to have a solution in place to make sure that business runs as usual. So you're not losing any clients, you're not losing any money, you're not getting any bad reviews. So just keep that in mind. Quick thinking wins the ball game. And now my final question to you is question number 5. Are you competitive? It's a very dog-eat-dog world out there in entrepreneurship. It's very competitive. And if you don't have the drive to want to be number 1 in your field, then you'll never have success as an entrepreneur. And that's my figurative take on when someone asks me, should they become an entrepreneur, or are they ready to become an entrepreneur? Personally, I prefer the literal sense because it's very cut and dry, but at least figuratively, it gives you some things to research and some things to think about before you decide to make that big jump into the entrepreneurship lifestyle. So definitely take note of that, and if you have any other questions, just feel free to reach out.